Let's talk about the demonstrative pronouns in this video. So what are the demonstrative pronouns? Demonstrative pronouns basically are used to point out to something specific within a sentence. Now, this could be something in time or even space, and it could be singular or in the plural form. So examples of demonstrative pronouns include words like such, this, that, these, those, none, neither. So depending on how they're used, they can be used as demonstrative pronouns. Let's take a look at a couple of examples to understand this. So imagine you have this sentence here. This was my sister's purse. So here, this is referring to the particular purse that is being pointed out to in the sentence. Therefore, it is acting as a demonstrative pronoun over here. Similarly, we have this sentence here that's using that. That sounds like thunder. So that is referring to the specific sound that can be heard, and it is pointing out to that, and it is replacing a noun. Therefore, it is acting as a demonstrative pronoun. Now, whenever you use demonstrative pronouns, you can either use demonstrative pronouns to show something that's near in space and time or far in space and time. When you want to refer to something that's near, we use the demonstrative pronouns this and these. So you might have heard imagine that you're sitting at a desk with your friend and you want to show your friend a couple of pencils that you have. You will say, these are my pencils, or this is my pen. So these are close to you, or they're close in space. Therefore, you have used this and these and not other demonstrative pronouns like that or those. Now, when you want to show that something is far in space or time, then we use the demonstrative pronouns that or those. So for instance, if you have a building nearby that's at a distance from you, that is far from you, then you'll say that that is the building where I live, or those are the buildings that are near my house, because they're far in distance from you. So make sure that you don't confuse the use of demonstrative pronouns that are used for things that are close to you and things that are far from you in terms of space and time. Now, let us look at different uses of these demonstrative pronouns. We use that with its plural form those to avoid repetition of the preceding noun. Now, in certain sentences, if you want to say something about a particular noun and you want to refer back to it, but you don't want to repeat using the same noun again, then we can use that and those as a combination in order to avoid repetition. Let's take a look at an example. The weather in Goa is like that in Mumbai at the moment. So here we're talking about the weather in Goa, which is like the weather in Mumbai at the moment. So we don't want to repeat the use of the weather twice because it's already understood from the sentence. If you simply replace it with the word that, which is the weather, then it is understood that we're talking about the same thing that was referred to in the beginning of the sentence. So we can use these demonstrative pronouns as a way to avoid repetition, because it's important that you write in a way which is clear, which is not, not necessarily repeating the same word again and again. It is not recommended according to style when you write. So let's take a look at another example. We have the rings are like those of my aunts. Again, here we're using those because we have the plural form of the word ring, right? So we have rings, therefore we use those. Here we had weather, which was singular, so we used that. So the rings are like the rings of my aunts. So instead of using the rings twice in the sentence, I have replaced the rings with those. So using demonstrative pronouns can be helpful when you want to avoid repeating a particular noun in a sentence. Let's take a look at another usage that we have. When you have two things that have already been mentioned in a sentence and you want to refer back to them. So in that case, this will be the word that is used to refer to the last thing that was mentioned, and that will be used to refer to the first thing that was mentioned. Let's take a look at an example to understand this. Here we have the sentence, laziness and recklessness are both harmful. This has long-term effects while that has immediate ones. Now, according to the rule here, this is referring to the last thing mentioned. What is the last thing that we mentioned? Recklessness, right? So if this is the last thing, then this is referring to the last thing mentioned. and that has long-term effects. That here, which is at the end of the sentence, is referring to the first thing that was mentioned, which was laziness. So here we use that to refer to the first thing mentioned, and this is used to refer to the last thing mentioned in the sentence. So make sure that you understand how you use demonstrative pronouns, and you remember to use the proper demonstrative pronouns for things that are near or things that are far.